Hello, it's Nancy Juetten. I'm the leader of the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group and the leader of the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp. And today is Thursday, May 27th. And this is the fourth live training that I'm coming on to deliver this week to give you all the value so that you can broadcast your brilliance as a podcast dream guest the top hosts can't wait to book. So what are we going to do today? Today, I've got some housekeeping details I want to cover that are going to be super useful to you, especially if you are feeling like you need to play catch up. I'm going to cover some big ideas that I really want you to consider. And then I'm going to get busy answering some of the questions that have been coming my way about podcast guesting and the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp in particular. So let's get this party started. If you are joining me live, go ahead and say hello. Hey, Paulette, so glad you're here. If someone else is here saying hello, go ahead and tell me who's here, and I'll be sure to make sure that I greet you properly, whether you're live or by replay. I promise this will be very valuable to you. Okay, number one of the outcomes from the masterclass that I delivered on Monday is that I wanted you to get serious about creating your media one sheet so that you can feel even more confident and convicted in pitching yourself to the right shows. So what do you know? There is a homework thread in the Facebook group. It's a bright pink homework thread. It says, post your homework here. And that homework thread has been burning up with people posting their sloppy first copies of their media one sheets so that I can review them and make suggestions to make them even more door opening. If you have not yet posted your media one sheet there for my review, TikTok, this is your invitation. I want you to get that accomplished because it will help you gain so much clarity about what you want to talk about, what's special, different, and preferred about what you want to talk about so that hosts would find it compelling. And it will actually open some doors for you when you start getting busy pitching to the right priority podcasts that are right for your message. So if you have not yet completed your sloppy first copy or your finished version of the media one sheet in the homework thread, please look for that hot pink homework thread and step up. And oh, by the way, one of the cool benefits of doing that is with a group of almost 2,000 members, many of them have Facebook groups, podcasts of their own, YouTube channels. They may be looking for an expert just like you. And what if you got booked on a podcast or a broadcast or some show or platform simply as a result of sharing that in the feed? So please go ahead and do your homework. And I can't wait to learn more about you. Okay, number two. In the United States of America, it's going to be a holiday weekend any moment now. And so that means that because people are getting in trains, planes, and automobiles, they're going to need something to listen to or watch or participate in while they're getting ready for the big barbecue or whatever it is that you've got planned. So what do you know? I'm making it easy for you to binge watch and catch up on any of the trainings that you may have missed if you are newer to the group. How can you gain access to all of that? What do you know? I've made it easy for you. Across the horizontal navigation of this very group, there is a tab called Guides, Guides. And if you go there, you will notice that you can revisit the masterclass. You can quickly access the workbook that's packed with useful resources for pitching and getting your act together. You will be able to easily see the testimonials from happy graduates. You will easily be able to see other resources that I've shared with you during this powerful week of training. And this gives you the opportunity to binge watch, binge listen, and also invite your dedicated marketing assistant or team member into the group so she or he can benefit also. Because I promise you, if you take in this training and you take action on what it is that I'm sharing with you, you're going to get some quick wins right away. And that's going to intoxicate you at the prospect of getting on bigger and bigger shows where your message can travel further and farther and a whole lot faster. And those are the results that I want for you. Now, speaking of, those are the results that I want for you. And I know that based on what it is I've shared with you already, you probably feel more than slightly dangerous about being able to get in the game and get on with it. And so I want to paint a picture of what might be possible. Hey there, Spencer. So glad you joined. Spencer, I was thinking about you last night because you mentioned that one of the links that you were looking for from the workbook was hard to find. And I hope you saw that I tagged you and made available that link to that podcast guest matchmaking site that you were having trouble finding. And I hope that you located it. Anyway, I hope I solved that problem for you. Okay, so a couple of big ideas I want you to think about. If you are trying to grow a business, there are 5 levers that I believe we all need to keep pulling and calibrating to serve our best outcomes. Number 1 is we need to sell more. We need to sell more of what we do to the right people. Can I get an amen to that? Number 2, we need to exceed our clients' expectations by providing wow results that are worthy of celebrating and referring. Number 3, we must get visible in front of more of the right people who can benefit from our message, our mission, and the flag we are waving for the work or the good work that we do. Number 4, we must grow our audience of fans, followers, champions, and advocates. And number 5, we must advance along the path to mastery along all of these categories so that our stars can continue to rise, our balance sheet can continue to be boosted, and we can continue to have the kinds of lives that we want as entrepreneurs up to big things. So why does all this matter? Because I've been hearing from a lot of folks who've participated in this training up until now, and there's some common themes. People are telling me, I love what I do, but I need more leads. I love what I do, but I feel like I'm stuck under a rock and nobody knows my name. If I could just get more calls on the calendar that I could convert into sales, my balance sheet would look so much better than it looks right now. If I could just learn how to podcast guest, I could speak up and share my message, and more of the message would travel, but I just don't know what to do or how to do it. These are the kinds of things that people are saying. And so what is it that you need to accomplish? Where's the greatest problem in your business? Where's the bottleneck where things aren't working well? And as you consider all the different tactics that you can possibly deploy to make your business grow, to gain that visibility, to grow that audience, to get more conversations on the calendar, does podcast guesting hold some promise for you? Could this be the power lever that's been right under your nose that could be so relevant and of service to everyone, you, the host, and the bigger audience that's waiting to hear what you have to say? So I want to share with you why the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp could be a solution to your problem. But before I get to that, I want to answer some of the questions that have been coming up. People are saying, how do I find the right audience to hear my message? Well, if you listen to the masterclass that I delivered earlier in the week, I gave you several resources to help find guesting opportunities. It's all in your workbook, and I want you to start there to get some quick wins. The podcast guest collaboration site is a great place to start. I believe there are over 20,000 people that are members there. And if you could simply focus there for the next week and see what kind of quick wins you could create, you would be off to the races in no time. I also talked about Chartable.com, Chartable.com, Chartable. It's free to join, and you can go to the search tab and fill in retirement. And all of a sudden, there'll be a drop down that shows the shows that are relevant to retirement to narrow your focus only to the right shows. I've already generously shared those resources. All you have to do is put them to the test and see that you can get to your great 8 higher pitching targets so fast. Now, what are you going to do? You got to learn how to pitch. And so that's been another question that I've been people are asking me, do you teach me how to pitch in the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp? I absolutely do teach you how to pitch. You're not going to spray and pray and hope for the best. You're going to very specifically target the shows that you want to be on. You're going to see, hear, and celebrate the host with a point of view that will be provocative, that he or she wants to hear about. And you're going to position yourself such that they can't wait to say yes. If this is a new skill for you and the finesse required to do it feels unfamiliar, that is one of the benefits of being part of the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp, because as a messaging magician, as someone who has pitched the media for decades, who better to help you borrow my skill and make it your own so that you can open those doors. The kind of feedback that you get in this group, in this program, the kind of finesse that you learn, the kinds of ninja strategies that I'm going to teach you are going to make, mining for gold as you speak up, actually quite fun. Okay, what are some other questions? How can I be a great guest? I've covered that quite a bit. And a lot of this requires just simply getting ready and having the intention that that is exactly what you want. And I've already covered how to be a great guest. I want you to be that unicorn guest that top hosts can't wait to book. And if you and your company need to set up systems so that it's easy to manage without being a full-time job, well, my friends, that is what we go over and set up in the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp. I'm going to show you the Podcast to Profit spreadsheet. I'm going to show you how to create an interview Spencer page. I'm going to show you how to make your media one sheet even more brilliant than it already is. And I'm going to help you create those systems so that they can live on in your company forever. And the other thing I'm hearing from people is, oh my gosh, this sounds like it's going to take a lot of time. How much time is this going to take? Well, let's be clear. I'm asking you to commit 2 hours a week to be live with me on Wednesday morning from 9 to 11, because I'm going to deliver content, I'm going to deliver action coaching, and I'm going to answer all your questions and hot seat with you so that you get what you came for so you can keep making progress. So that's 2 hours a week with me. And then I'm going to ask you to time block another window of time in your CEO schedule so that you can set up these systems very quickly and then get on with the business of pitching. And if you could just dedicate a modest amount of time every week to get this party started, momentum will start to build. You will get the quick wins. Your voice will carry to further and farther audiences. Other people will hear what you said and how you said it, and more opportunities will come your way easily. And that is what I want for you. But it does take a little bit of time. And yes, you will be able to spin other plates in your business that are essential, especially because I said already, we must sell. We must exceed our clients' expectations, but we cannot not be visible and grow our audience. People need to hear from you, and you need to hear from people so that your whole thing can continue to move forward. So how much time is it going to take? It's going to take some time. And it's manageable. If you have a marketing team member that you can bring with you, I think that is a brilliant strategy, because then the nitty-gritty research and the system setup can be done by your assistant. And then the pitching could also be done by your assistant. And he or she can simply set things up for you so that you can show up like a pro at hello and just rock the mic. In the beginning, I'd really like both of you to be on all the calls. And I'd like you to divide and conquer according to your best skill set so that everybody's doing what they're brilliant at. But the part of this that I think is so exciting is that if you have a team member that comes along, the investment you make in this course is going to make your team member so much more valuable to you, because he or she is going to acquire a whole new set of pitching skills to advocate for you and your star on the rise so that your service-based business can attract more leads beyond the referrals that you already welcome. And that will mean that the whole team will be busier delivering services for ideal clients. And as long as your assistant is on your team, you will own that pitching skill for as long as she's on the team. And that just makes the whole organization stronger, making it such that you never have to hire out your booking services to an outside agency unless you so choose. I just consider that very fiscally responsible, and I hope that you do too. So how many people are going to be in the program? I'm expecting at least 10 and maybe more. People are saying, I'm committed to other programs. How do I balance this with that? My question is, do the other programs help you get visible and grow your audience and grow your business by speaking up in this simple way? If those other programs you're enrolled in do not do that, what else will you be doing to build your visibility and your audience if not podcast guesting? And could Broadcast Your Brilliance be a supplemental program that you add to your suite of commitments this summer so that you can have it all? Because this does not have to be a full-time job, but it does have to be something to which someone is committing time and attention so that your star can rise. And I want that for you. Someone's asking me, I have a podcast. Will being in this program help my podcast? Yes, it will. Let's be clear. If you have a new podcast, chances are you want more subscribers and more downloads. One of the smartest things you can do is guest on other people's podcasts so that when you get an opportunity to speak up about whatever it is that your subject matter is, you can ping pong people to subscribe to your show. And you know what? You can do interview swaps with the people whose shows you're on, and that you can borrow their authority as they bring their listeners back to your show. And all of a sudden, the rising tide lifts all the boats. Someone was asking me, should I start my own podcast first? And my frank answer is that would not be my recommendation, because it's a big darn deal to start a podcast. There's a lot to it, and you got to be willing to make a commitment to it. The same person keeps calling me. I don't know why that is. I recommend that you guest your way to podcast love. Start guesting on the shows of others where the audience is already embedded and it already exists, and demonstrate to yourself that you love it, that it's fruitful, and then you can't wait to do it more. And if at some later point you decide to have your podcast of your own, then go ahead and do that. But first, podcast guest as much as you can so that you can feel the results, have the fun doing it, create relationships that can bloom into bigger things, and learn from a pro. And that's who I am. If you say to yourself, I want to hire this out, I'm going to pay someone $300 a podcast so that I can be on their show. Well, I guess I could say that that's just not something that I believe in. I don't believe you should pay to be on a podcast. I don't believe you should pay to be on a podcast. If you hire a booking agency, the really good ones will require a 1-year commitment, and they will charge you between $15,000 and $20,000 for a year-long commitment where they will book you on 4 shows a month. And that's a brilliant service. But $15,000 to $20,000 a year is a lot for some business owners to consider. And what I am offering for between $2,000 and $3,000 for a 12-week program is the opportunity for you to learn how to fish so you are never hungry for the rest of your life. You and your team will own these skills forever and be able to dial them up or dial them back depending on your lead flow and how prosperous your company is and how visible it is. And that's great empowerment to hold within your own control. Do you want to hire it out at a significant investment? If you have that significant investment, then knock yourself out. But for the mere mortals who are at a more modest place of growth, what it is that I offer is an answer to a prayer, and it's a level of empowerment that you will own forever. And I just think that's a really good decision to consider. Does it harm your positioning to book yourself on shows? This question always makes my eyes glaze over. I have no trouble pitching myself, and I unapologetically do it. And when people hear from me, they're happy to hear from me, and I'm creating a real relationship that's not at arm's length. And that's just the way I like to roll. If you're one of those people that wants to be treated with kid gloves and have the green room experience and have somebody do this for you, then what it is that I'm teaching is probably not for you. You're probably better to go to that done for you agency where they're going to take care of that for you and you can just show up and be a star. And that's okay. But I have no trouble pitching myself, and I teach my clients to have no trouble pitching themselves. And if someone with a really big name ends up pitching themselves, I think the person on the receiving end would say, wow, I can't believe I got a call from insert big name here. I'm feeling like I'm too cool for school now that I'm getting people like that reaching out to me at my show. I don't see it as a downside. I really don't. Especially for folks that haven't yet broken through the 7, 8, or 10-figure revenue stream. What the heck? Why not pitch yourself? You pitch yourself every day, whatever it is that you're selling. You might as well pitch yourself to important podcasts and create some friendships and some relationships that will make a difference in your visibility and your lead flow and everything else. So what kinds of questions might you have about this program so that I can help you come to a yes decision? If you have questions, you can simply post them in the chat and ask me anything, because I'm here live right here, right now, and I want to make sure that you get what you came for. And as well, I'm waiting for you to comment. I want to talk a little bit about who this is for, because you might be asking, is this for me? Is the timing right for me? Am I at my place in my business where this actually makes some sense? And so let's talk about it. Who is this not for? This is not for rabbit chasers. There are people that are juggling so many initiatives right now that they can't see straight. And I always say, and I've heard this said many times before by people far more successful and well-known than I am, is that if you try to chase 2 rabbits at the same time, you often come back with none. And so if you're trying to get the course done and you're trying to write the book and you're trying to get your branding done and you haven't quite got anything specific that people can buy right now, then this probably is not for you. If you are looking for done for you services, this is not for you. If you are a dabbler who likes to dip your toe in the water and try things once or twice and then discard what you've attempted, this is not for you. These kinds of scenarios are recipes for frustration, not only for you, but for the person who's teaching a course. I'm trying to create a community of action takers, results makers, and all-in visibility rock stars who are at that place where they are all in on this visibility strategy. These are people who run service-based businesses that have products that clients already gladly invest into to get the benefit. This is for people who love the fact that their business up until this point has grown by referral, and they now have enough bench strength on their team such that they can actually attract more clients and serve them. You're ready to scale beyond the people you already know by sharing your voice with a much wider audience. This is for you if you are an author of an existing, a relaunching, or a forthcoming book that will be that big business card that allows readers to build that bridge of trust with your expertise to the point that they can't wait to chat with you further about what else you have in the store beyond the book, where they can saddle up at the feet of your wisdom to benefit from what you have to share. These are the kinds of people that the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp is for, because, as I said during the masterclass, if you book yourself on 20 shows in the next year and only one qualified perfect prospect emerges from those long form conversations to the point where they want to have a consultation with you and you end up doing business with them, if you have a 4-figure offer that you can extend to that one person, multiply that 4 figures times 20 podcast guest spots, and you can see how this easily can bring you a return on your wise investment. Whether you invest at the $19.97 level for the standard tuition or the $29.97 level for the VIP tier of membership, you can do the math and see that it works out. Now, what's the difference between standard and VIP? The only difference between standard and VIP is that the VIPs will get the opportunity to have an interview with me from my YouTube channel and broadcast within the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group that you can also repurpose in any way you so choose to demonstrate to influencers that you are media ready, media savvy, and on message, and a great guest in every way. We all need a good audition tape to demonstrate that we've got the goods. And if you are one of the folks that decides to go VIP, you will get that VIP interview with me, and I will edify you. I will champion you. I will position you as someone who's got the goods to deliver magic that people can't wait to learn more about. And if you're excited about those interviews, there are examples that I posted in the Facebook group that you can see. And people say that I'm like a junior Oprah. I just really know how to ask the questions. I really know how to put you in your best light. I really know how to prepare you to soundbite like a queen or a king so that you look like a star. And if that's exciting to you, then go VIP. There are only 7 spots, and a couple of them have already been claimed. So if you are excited about that, run and don't walk and enroll in the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp so that you can be a part of that part of the program. So we know who it's for and we know who it's not for. And I've answered a lot of the common questions that come up. And so in terms of logistics, it's every Wednesday starting on June 9th for 12 consecutive weeks. We meet from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. It's truly best for you to show up live because we are creating a community of people who are getting to know, like, and trust each other and champion each other to the doors that we open for each other. So between you and your assistant, I want you to be there every single week because the rising tide lifts all the boats, and the connections that happen within the group are so brilliantly beautiful. I mean, these are people you're going to meet and love and want to be in relationship with indefinitely. During this last session, I was just amazed. We had near perfect attendance all 12 weeks. People were getting that much value. They made it that much of a priority. And that's what I'm looking for. These calls are live. People are asking me, this is my free gift. What do you think about it? And I'm thinking, are you open to some upgrades? Because if you're open to some upgrades, I think we can make that a whole lot better right here, right now. Can we brainstorm? You're going to get in the hot seat. You're going to get the specific, terrific messaging magic that you need to feel confident and convicted in sharing your message in writing, at the microphone, and every other way. And I want to be the guide that gets to help you do that. So I think I've answered most of the questions that have come up. If more come up, if you want to chat with me, I just got alerted today that my VIP Nancy chat button is malfunctioning. What do you know? Isn't it perfect timing? If you feel that the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp is something that you're excited about and you still have nagging questions or doubts, or you just want to connect with me one-to-one, send me a direct message through Facebook or email me at nancy@getknowngetpaid.com and say, hey, can I have a few minutes to chat? And I will make time to chat. So now let's talk about timing. So I mentioned at the top of the call that we've got this holiday weekend, and I know that you've got barbecues to attend and road trips to enjoy, and I'm not all about that false urgency, hurry, got to do this right this very second. But here's the reality. You have between now and June 8th to consume all the trainings that are posted in the guides tab. I want you to run and don't walk to consume those trainings, get the value, ask yourself, is this what I want right now? Is this what I need to grow my list? Is this what I need to grow my influence? Is this what I need to help my voice carry to people that I don't already know so that I can have more business sooner versus later? And is Nancy my teacher? And if you come to a yes answer, go ahead and claim your place at getknowngetpaid.com/BYB before we start on June 9th, because that's when we start. If you've got nagging questions, we've got plenty of time to get your questions answered, either one-on-one, by email, however you want to do it. But I'm totally here to make sure that you make that all-in decision. And speaking of all-in decision, I know that you have many, many choices of experts that you can learn from and work with. And it's a unique privilege to get to talk to you now and to say, I would like to be one of them. But when you say yes to what it is that I'm offering, the metaphor that I have in my mind is like when you're watching America's Got Talent and you are seeing the talent unfold and you watch the judges say, not only was that great, but that was a golden buzzer moment. And they hit that golden buzzer and the confetti falls and you think, wow, that's awesome. When you hit the button to say, yes, I'm in, I want you to do that with that level of confidence and conviction and wow factor that you're like hitting the golden buzzer and you're ready to go. Because if you have that much confidence and conviction and excitement around what it is that I've laid out for you, I'm going to rise up to meet you. And for the next 12 weeks, you're going to own a slice of my heart, and I'm going to rise up to exceed your expectations. You only need to tune in to what happy clients have said in their testimonial videos to know whether or not what I'm saying is true. This kind of authenticity, this kind of connection, this kind of generosity, I realize is uncommon. People tell me that all the time. How can you be so generous? How can you be so of service? How can you be this way that you are? It just is the way that it is. And if it's uncommon and you don't believe it, get on the phone with me and we'll work it out so that you can feel that in your own heart. But I can't put this on. This is who I really am. This is the way I really roll. And if you feel that I'm your person, well, I can't wait to work with you. We start on the 9th. We go for 12 weeks. I want you to be in it to win it. With regard to bonuses, my bonuses are very practical. When you're in the first 10 people to say yes, either membership tier, I'm going to mail you a $150 Amazon gift card so you can purchase lighting or a microphone or a backdrop or whatever it is that you need to be able to show up at Hello like a pro for a video or an audio interview. That will really help for you to be set up to go like a pro at Hello. The other limitation is there are only 7 spots for the VIP tier. One of them is already taken, so there's 6 more. I would encourage you to hurry if you think that that is the option that would be desirous for you. Number 3, be fiscally responsible. You can hire out an agency for $15,000 to $20,000 and never know what the heck they're doing or how to do it. Or you can invest between $2,000 and $3,000 now, learn how to fish so you're never hungry for the rest of your life, bring your assistant along and have that value returned back to you for as long as they're on your team. Gosh, would I rather spend 15 to 20 or would I rather spend 2 to 3? Hey, I'm married to a financial advisor. I'm all about fiscal responsibility. And what else? I guess that's about it. So I hope that this has been helpful. Paulette, how am I doing? Spencer, how am I doing? If you watch this over the binge over the weekend and you need to comment #replay, here's my question, go ahead and do that. And I'll respond as quickly as I possibly can. And I want you to just take a moment and ask yourself, what if in the next 12 weeks, I got to be on 4 to 12 podcasts, got to deliver my message like a pro, attracted leads, conversations, connections, collaborations, and cash. And all I had to do was be me in front of the microphone without leaving my house, getting on an airplane, having to be a road warrior, would that be the one marketing initiative that you put in your quiver that could serve you for the rest of your life? If that's a yes answer, then I look forward to the opportunity to work with you. Make a golden buzzer decision. Be all in it. Hello. I'll rise up to meet you. Oh, Caitlin's here. It's my pleasure. Caitlin, I'm hoping you join. I hope you get on board. You've been so engaged in the training, and Paulette too. Oh, says, we'll be binging over the weekend. Thanks, Paulette. That's great. In the guides tab of this Facebook group, it's the masterclass. It's the workbook. It's the training I did on Tuesday about media one sheet homework. It's the training I did yesterday about those 2 extra P's that are super important. One of them is practice. The other one is presence. And today, of course, I'm answering your questions. If there's other things that come up, let me hear from you, and let's get those answers slayed. So remember, if you need to talk to me, send me a direct message here on Facebook, or send me an email at nancy@getknowngetpaid.com and put your question in the comments, and I will, and put your phone number there, and I'll even give you a call if that would help. I don't want any questions going unanswered, and I want you to set your intentions high. Remember the very beginning of this whole journey we started this week, I said it all starts in your mindset. We need to believe and behave as if the most important opportunity was going to knock on our door tomorrow. Number 2, our affirmation is, my work is worthy of a much wider audience, and my business is worthy of sales beyond expectations. And number 3, someday is not a day on the calendar. If I want to be heard and seen and celebrated and ultimately compensated, that means getting over any fears, any doubts, and getting ready to speak up and show up now, because given what we've been seeing over the last 14 or 15 months with certain pandemics that have really changed the game for so many of us, now's the time for us to do whatever it is we're here to do. We don't have time to waste. And if I'm your teacher to show you how to do it, and I'm going to be that velvet boot of accountability to make sure that you do it to get the results that you came for and so much more, then come on in. The water's fine. The person who starts the program is not the person who graduates. And I'm guessing that we're going to create such a powerful relationship that will last long after the course is complete. And that would make me very, very happy, because at this vintage of my life, I'm collecting jewels in the crown, wonderful relationships that can be legacy enhancers for the work that I do. And I would be honored to have the opportunity to work with you. So with that, I will sign off for now. And I look forward to getting your questions and seeing who decides to hit that golden buzzer and say, broadcast your brilliance. Now's my time. Can't wait to play with Nancy. And you know, I can't wait to play with you too. All right. That's all for now. I will see you probably tomorrow with, I don't know if you're going to see me tomorrow, but binge watch all weekend. That's my suggestion. All right. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.